Hey guys, Vedran here from EMS. I just want to run down through a couple of things on Nomad, just to make sure everybody's on the same page as it comes to when it comes to using the trace and uh, adding layers and just a couple of small things. First, I want to start off by saying I'm in Sioux Falls. This is a current project that Matt is working on, and he has 15 days of trace in his file. So we're going to work with a couple of those things. I currently have three days turned on here, and I go to table of contents, GPS trace, and then I can turn on the different days. You guys are probably familiar with that. I'm going to go back to the folder here where all that data is stored, and this is the file, the FM2 file that I'm looking at. And as you can see, it's 56.4 megabytes. That's 15 days worth of trace and notes and skip OBJs, all the points on the map. That's 56 megabytes. And then this is the same, just compressed and zipped, 9.62 megabytes. This would be what you guys are uploading up to the FTP on a daily basis. And then also, initially when I send you guys the files, they also contain a shape file. This kind of adds it. It's a little, the bulk. But as you can see, this isn't that bad either. It's only 22 megabytes. And that's all our shape data in the back, all our lines and nodes and the boundary lines. Those are all the shapes. So initially when you guys bring the project onto your local machine, it contains the FM2 file and the shapes, but going forward from that point on, you guys are only uploading the FM2 file onto the FTP, and it's zipped, which is, like I said, only let's get rid of that, real small. Okay, so going back here, obviously I don't have the GPS or anything going on, and so it's going to run a little bit faster because it's not receiving all that data, but I have 3 days turned on here, and when I pan, obviously without the without the GPS going on, with the 3 days turned on, this is the typical refresh rate for the project with 3 days of trace turned on. Obviously, if I turn on only a single day, it'll be a little bit faster. So about the same, but real easy to zoom into. I believe this is probably as fast as we're going to get it with this many points. It currently works faster than the ArcMap program that's standard in the GIS world. All right, that being said, a couple other things. Let's pin this back here. I also wanted to show you guys how when I create the shape layer of your trace, if we're doing big jobs, I'll do that every couple of days, every 5 days, maybe a week. But what we want to do is we want to go to Actions, Add, navigate to our navigate to the folder where you guys have it saved. You have this Nomad progress, and I'm going to click on that and add. And initially this starts off as a bunch of black dots. As we zoom in closer, you can see these are all the days and all the trace for all the time when you had the test was on. So you can see here that this was done twice in both directions. This was only done once. If we want to change the color of that, we select the the layer here on the map features, make sure it's blue highlighted like that. We go down here to properties, symbol definitions, click in the field, and then it'll let us open this little box. And under symbols here, we can change the color to whatever color we want. Let's say we want to do it. Let's do a nice deep pink. And we want to change the size to, let's say we want to make it pretty small. We're going to make a size 4 circle. Okay, okay, and apply. And boom, there are our trace points. Now we can go back and we can turn off all the layers here. And now we're just left with the trace points. And right away you can see that even with all the days loaded, with the shapefile, it moves a lot faster, right? So on the next version of Nomad, I'm going to try to have a way for you guys to create your own shapefile daily basis. Add a little button that'll create one for you and put it in for, put it up here in your table of contents. And that might be a way to make things move a little bit quicker. We're still going to have the issue with the current GPS points that are being created as you guys are doing your surveying daily. But at night or after you guys are done or whenever through the day, you can create another shapefile of just that and then start your GPS trace for that day again and just keep building this shapefile. But as you can see, this at this point, this rocks. I mean, it's really quick. And then if you want to turn it off, simply just turn it off there, turn it back on. Easy. Also, we have your node points. I'm going to turn it off for a second. We have your skip OBJ numbers here. You guys know you guys can select them, delete them, make a new one, delete the old one, whatever you need to do. You can do the same with any of the notes. And don't forget to save and repair. This will compact the database. Again, a daily thing. Just make things run a little bit smoother. I was going to show you. So we want to retrieve that skip OBJ table. Basically just open your FM2 file. And normally it will be set to open like this, so that the only thing you will see once you open it up is the query, skip OBJ. And double click on that, it'll open all your skips that you've created to this day, and it has the date and time when it was created. So real easy. If you want to click this little spot right here, right click, copy, and then we can open a Nomad file or a Notepad file, and we can paste all of those in there. That easy. Now you can save that and send it to anybody who wants it through your email. I mean, this file is going to be tiny. Be careful on if you guys want to check yourself. You see here I created a couple of points today, and sometimes what happens, you will type these in, there'll be a space, or instead of 94, it'll say 4920 in this case. Somebody just keyed it in wrong. Those things do happen. At this stage, that hasn't been addressed yet. It's just raw as it's a raw file as you typed it in. We do have another process on the back end that we run after the project's been complete to clean out most of those issues. We'll go through and see if there's any duplicates We'll go through and see if there's any spaces, any weird characters, if any of the numbers are too large, over 6 characters, that's too big for what you guys are usually averaging. So that'll get it flagged, and then we'll go and take a look. Sometimes you'll type in 2 skips in the same line and place it. I mean, it has happened. But this one, for example, looks real nice and clean. Seems like it would be pretty much ready to analyze and use for skips. And this can be then pasted into any database or any table that you guys require. So, but again, this step I'm going to, in the new version, I'm going to try to be a little proactive and have a export button maybe that'll create that text file for you directly, and you guys don't have to mess around with the database and going in here. Go back to the database and the access. I know you guys are not familiar with that much, but if we go down here and we switch to our tables, these are all our supporting tables. For example, IMSSW is where all your notes, all the nodes and all the skips are being maintained, all the labels. This is just if your survey was on or off at that time. Here's all your skips. So basically what I do to create that skip file is I create a separate table that only has, only takes the values where this is populated, where if it's not populated, I don't add it. And then reverse for all your notes. This is where your notes are being maintained. You guys don't really have to worry about this table that much, but that's where all the data is. And then all your trace data is saved in these individual tables down here, which are created daily and added to. So when we open that, I have the time, the GPS, the GPS date, which in this case is not filled in here, but it's in this log time. And then the color is basic indication if it was green or red, or in your case, it's either green or you guys don't see it, which is transparent. This number here, this means it's transparent. And then the F00, FF00C, those are the green points. And then the bearing. Again, an XY coordinate. You guys really don't have to worry about this, but this is where all that's being stored. And when you guys are having issues with the map being real slow and unresponsive, the way that I check to make sure that you guys are using the 1 hertz versus the 5 hertz is by just looking at this GPS time. If I see that you have multiple points per second, right here it's 54, 55, 56, 57, that means you're doing it it's being captured every 1 second. If I have multiple, usually it's 554, it's 555, 56, and then it has a little value over here for the hundredths second. So that's how I'll know that you guys are still using the 5 hertz setting, and that'll cause the program to misbehave, definitely. So this is a real easy way to check for me. Some of you guys that are familiar with how to use this, you guys can do that on your own, but real simple again. Check on our end. Going back to Nomad here. Excuse the flickering. That's I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it on the video, but that's probably because of my Camtasia video capture. Also, I know you guys have issues when you touch the screen and then sometimes it'll zoom you in real close or real far. I'm going to add a little button here or somewhere that you can do zoom previous, so it'll get you back to where you guys, the previous extends. So it's going to be on the new version. Or it should be coming out pretty soon. I don't really have a date on that, but What else did I want to talk about? I think I covered mostly everything, real basic steps. If you guys need me to adjust any of these buttons, we can do that as well. And that's also being handled in this database, the FM2 file. I have showed some of you how to do this before, but we have this button config, and this is where all our buttons come from. There's, there, there's all the buttons, and the display text, and where we want to place them, the order, and all that stuff. So we can always add or subtract or change some of the button inputs. We can also add another row if really necessary, but if we want to keep the button in this configuration with the 4 and the 5 across, um, if we just add another button, it'll hang out by itself down at the bottom. So that's why we try to keep this configuration and then change the buttons that we're not going to use to keep everything the right size. Other than that, I'm going to call it a video here. Obviously, this is going to be unedited, so it's just a reference for you guys to watch, just a basic setup.